You object losing your head?
Yes, I like it where it is.
Disney does not make them like they used to. It's gotten to the point where straight-to-video is more nostalgic and memeable compared to this crap. For those who haven't seen Mickey, Donald, Goofy, the Three Musketeers, it's quite simple, really. The boys want to become musketeers, Pete wants to become king of France, so he puts these unqualified morons in charge of guarding the princess of this kingdom that has no king or queen, thinking that the Beagle Boys can take them out and he can become king in her absence, even though he needs someone to pretend to be the not queen in order to become king. What were you expecting? Fucking Shakespeare? Oh. Right. Other than Peter Pan, Sleeping Beauty, and Pooh's Grand Adventure, this was a DVD my sister and I had on loop at our grandma's house, and I think because it felt like the film version of a House of Mouse skit with its dumb plot focused on slapstick and music, that it was good enough. But the thing is, if Disney stuck to their original vision of what a theatrical Musketeers movie could look like, good or bad, it would have at least been memorable compared to this. Back in 1983, before Black Cauldron was released, Disney storyboard artists Stephen Houlet and Pete Young began developing that very movie, starring Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and Jose, who, if I had to guess, probably would have played D'Artagnan. And just saying that out loud, doesn't that already sound like a much better movie? Can you imagine it having a much more massive scope where there are legitimately good sword fights that still wedge in the slapstick we love about these characters and bring in classic Mickey, Donald, or Goofy villains like, say, Glumgold as the Cardinal, Keep Pete as the Captain, Magica as Milady? I mean, the possibilities would have been endless on that. And what would have made it special regardless is that this is allegedly, from what I keep hearing anyways, the first time that Mickey, Donald, and Goofy as a trio had their own movie from beginning to end, not some shorts that were weaved into an anthology. But after the project was announced in August of '84, that was the last time we ever heard of that project. What went wrong, who was to blame, we'll never really know for sure. But in 2004, we got Mickey, Donald, Goofy, the Three Musketeers, and 20 years later, a phrase I never thought I'd say about this movie, does it hold up? Yeah, it has its moments. And an A113 in the background, that was weird. The fluid animation and bright, colorful backgrounds are above average for a straight-to-video flick, and they make up for, or at least they try to make up for, a smaller scale that only has 2 to 3 action scenes with some fancy visuals like this training montage shaped like their symbol, an obsessive amount of keyhole shots, and a pretty fun climax where they fight in the middle of a Pirates of Penzance performance that was easily the highlight of the movie. I am the very model of a modern major general. I have information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I quote the fights historical, from Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. It's not gay, shut up! Gee, if only French citizens would revolt against their government and help the Musketeers, or those Musketeers from before were written back into the script. Fun fact, Wacko Warner is the very model of a modern Major General in this. Too bad he didn't finish the performance with "Woo! Bears rock!" One of these days. Jim Cummings always sounds like he's having a blast playing Pete, and he's so deliciously evil in his voice that he makes me smile in every scene he's in. I'm not entirely sure why the Maurice LaMarche Beagle Boys are Cockney, but they do get a decent joke out of this.
French words make me mad!
Even though Jeff Bennett was funnier as the short one.
Do these ears make my head look fat?
While it's not as dark as I remember, there are moments involving gravestones, a guillotine, and a dungeon with a height requirement that legit scared the crap out of me as a kid.
You object losing your head?
Yes, I like it where it is.
And of all the main characters in this, Goofy is the one that's actually done the most justice, where, once again, he's not the smartest guy in the room, but he does learn from his mistakes and actually uses them to his advantage when fighting off the Beagle Boys. All the songs in this are classical pieces that you would normally hear in a Fantasia movie, but with lyrics, and even though a couple of them are legitimately good, just listening to them, I really wish we had gotten to Fantasia 2006 instead of this. Mostly because Rob Paulsen as the troubadour is really annoying and honestly serves no purpose other than to introduce the songs. He literally comes on screen and says, "Oui, oui, time for a song!" Even though it would have been a hell of a lot better if the characters all sang their own songs. All for One and One for All is really catchy the more I listen to it, but I mean, take a shot every time they say All for One and One for All. You'll be here for fucking ever. There are 3 love songs in this one. One, again, you can take a shot the amount of times they say love in it. The second would be good if Mickey and Minnie had any chemistry in it, but literally the next scene afterwards, Minnie actually gets into bed with Daisy, so enough said on that one. And The last one is unintentionally enjoyable because it's about Goofy singing about how hot Clarabelle is as a cow, and yeah, write your own joke on that one. Obviously the best song is Petey's King of France, just because it's Pete singing about how evil he is. That just inherently is so entertaining to me. Now look, every Disney adaptation takes major liberties, so it's safe to say even the version of this movie I wanted to see would have been a loose retelling at best, but I still get the sense that it would have been a lot more faithful to the book and in the process be more entertaining. What makes the original story so engaging is that D'Artagnan's moral compass and bravery inspires the Three Musketeers to take action, while their hardened experiences humble D'Artagnan, making him more cautious and serious. It's a good example of how the student-mentor relationship does kind of go both ways. While you can tell that Pete's supposed to be the cardinal and the captain put together, and Clarabelle is Milady, right down to the fact that she falls in love with one of the Musketeers, outside of that and Mickey kind of sort of being half D'Artagnan, I for the life of me couldn't tell you which Musketeers these guys are supposed to be, and the fact that they take the title so literally by cutting out the most crucial character in the book, it's even harder to connect to their arc. Maybe because other than them giving constant Saturday morning speeches about how important it is to persevere and never give up because, well, just because. The characters have no motivation, and the script doesn't give the sense that it understands why this trio is so funny together. Mickey spends so much time being a walking, talking Instagram account that he doesn't feel like a character even when he starts to doubt his own abilities. Donald's treated even worse, where he spends the majority of it being a spineless coward who hides in the background up until the third act, even though what makes Donald such a funny character is that he's so short-tempered and always looking for a fight. If anything, he should be the first guy springing into action when they're fighting against the bad guys. The one time I laughed at him, it was a minor chuckle, but it's that easy to make him funny. Except for the rest of the movie. And finally, as per usual, Minnie and Daisy are written more like a rom-com as opposed to a good Disney movie where all they can talk about is Minnie wanting to find true love and Daisy just being the best friend. I'm not even kidding. This is literally the first line Minnie says in the film. He loves me. He loves me a lot. He loves me. He loves me even more. I was better on Quack Pack compared to this shit. Though honestly, the two of them have more chemistry than they do with Mickey and Donald of all things, to the point where I'd get behind this. So yeah, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, the Three Musketeers spends more time catering to the 8 and under crowd as opposed to trying to make something that all ages can enjoy. And the thing that I hate pointing out over and over again on the internet, in the comments section, wherever, is that what makes Disney such a great brand is that their best quality work is stuff that kids and adults can equally enjoy. And it is disappointing whenever they settle for the lowest common denominator. So with that, guys, thanks as always for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of Mickey, Donald, Goofy, the Three Musketeers. Does the original vision sound a hell of a lot better, or do you think I'm dreaming? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, check me out on Patreon and buy me a coffee, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.